Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Graduation season, I guess.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't believe that we're finally leaving this podcast.
Yeah, it's over. As we go on.
Stop. That song legitimately makes me cry. Don't.
Oh my god.
I cannot do, it's the same thing with Unwritten. I can't listen to it anymore without crying.
You are so embarrassing.
It's just who I am. I don't know. I can't make this shit up. It's just who I am.
I know. Anyway, welcome to Into the Twilight.
You're welcome to our graduation party. I hope that you brought really good gift cards for us.
Yes.
To the left are our high school acquaintances that we don't talk too much, and to the right are our family that are all old. Yeah. And Republican. Enjoy.
Have a great time.
Enjoy.
Welcome to the space.
Do you have any great graduation party stories for the space? Since it is your season of this, too.
I don't think I have any, to be honest. Because the graduation I had, which was high school, was not very eventful. And this graduation has not happened yet. So I still got a month to go, basically.
Damn.
So no,
time to prepare.
No stories. I know. Yeah, I guess I gotta have the best graduation party of my life.
Have I ever told you about the most Scorpio thing I've ever done?
Ooh, I don't think so, but I'm very eager to hear it.
So, it was, shockingly, it was my senior year in high school during graduation season.
Sure.
And listeners of the pod, if you don't know, when my birthday is. It's coming out the week that you're listening to this. But when my birthday always falls during Memorial Day, which is objectively one of the worst times because most people in my, where I grew up always go out of town. It is a very much 3-day weekend, we're going to do a thing kind of birthday.
Yeah.
So that was always a pain in the ass growing up. However,
summer birthdays, put your paws up.
Exactly.
No one's here and you're just alone.
So, yes. So, that changed a little bit during the senior year, because what I did was, during my birthday, which was about 2 weeks before we officially graduated, I held a dual birthday graduation party.
Oh, so powerful.
Where all of my friends came, all of my family came, got so much money. It was great. The benefit
I'm
of
very
this,
happy for you.
Thank you so much. It was a blessing going into college. Seattle was so expensive and still is.
Yes.
The benefit of this was that I invited all of my friends, right? 2 weeks before they had all scheduled their graduation parties. So, 2 weeks passes. They all expect me to attend their graduation parties, which, if listeners, you might be familiar with this, most of the time there's one good Saturday where everyone stacks their graduation party.
Yeah.
So what I did instead is I didn't go to any of them and went to an amusement park instead.
Oh my gosh.
So I did it 2 weeks early, got everyone to go, took all their money, did not reciprocate that by going to any of their graduation parties. And it was the most fulfilling day that I've ever had in my life.
Wow, yeah. There's a lot of just power and weight to what you just said, and I'll really have to sink my teeth into that throughout the entirety of this podcast.
I was thinking about it earlier, because I think Chris and I were having this conversation a couple days ago. You could not pay me to go to a high school graduation party now, because it literally is, it's split in two of, people that you are inviting because you go to school with them. You're not necessarily friends with them. You just go to school with them. And then family that will hopefully hook you up with cash. And that's it.
Yeah. That's all there is.
There's no one to really converse
Every
with.
high school friendship is exclusively a transactional relationship.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
there were so many times where it was like, yeah, I'll drive you to school. Just make sure that you get me something when I pick you up. You know what I mean? Like, just get lunch or whatever. It's like, yeah, that was all of high school for me, was just bartering.
Yes.
Learning those skills there.
I love it.
How the hell are you doing?
I'm okay. My uterus is yelling at me and punching at me for like a lot of reasons. Yep. 95% of them being my period, but 5% just being angry at the world.
Yep, I feel that.
So it's not great. And I always like forget how bad like my cramps are, because like enough time passes between my period where I'm just like, oh, it's fine. Like I know where my body is.
Right.
And then it comes around. And I also have short periods, so I kind of like underestimate you know, the power that it has. But boy, in those few days, it just like, here we go. It's like, Yeah,
Aunt Flo
have
really
fun laying on the floor.
Oh my god.
For 3 days.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Ugh.
How are you, my friend?
I'm a little way down by existential dread and bread. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
I think
it's a cool new feeling that
it's a cool new feeling that we definitely haven't felt every single day since we started this podcast in 2016.
Yeah. Yep.
And Cody and I were talking about this before the pod yesterday, of I'm eternally grateful to have this space where I, for an hour, get to focus on everything but what's happening in the world. But also that requires me to be in a healthy enough space to do this.
Yeah.
Which is so hard.
It's definitely hard.
Especially when my very existence is a threat to most people.
Right.
So that's a fun experience. I am currently battling with a measles epidemic in my school district. Which in the year of our Lord 2019 is a fun experience to have.
Sure. Yeah.
Where I'm having students come up to me being like, are you vaccinated? I'm like, hold the fuck up. Are you vaccinated?
First of all, child. The real question is...
Don't interrogate me in this space. I had to show immunization records to get hired here.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
They wouldn't let me in the fucking door if I
Yeah.
wasn't vaccinated.
My mom wasn't there to back me up, Jeremy. So, what's going on?
Yeah.
But, like, legitimately, the school next to mine closed this week because of measles, and it's just like, all right, well, can we just... It's school
cool,
over,
guys. Jesus.
But yeah, it's great. So that's a cool thing that I'm really happy for this space to think about everything other than that.
Yes.
The good thing about this week, though, kind of one of the only shining lights, is that we have very relevant hot goss that was like in mainstream media to talk about this week.
People are talking.
And they're talking, and honestly, you're welcome. Like, I've been saying this from the beginning.
We have prophesied. We are single-handedly responsible for Twilight being in the discourse. And all of our faves being in the discourse. It's us.
I don't know how many times we have to tell you this, but, like, we did that. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, obviously, the first thing that we have to talk about is DC news, which I never thought we would bring to the space. But yeah, our Pats is our new Batman.
Yeah. There's negotiations, but he is likely to be
it's just
our next Batman. Which is just, we clowned on him earlier just because mostly the, like, fan photos
the
that
fan
were
photos
made.
were awful.
Bad, very bad, and I didn't like looking at them. But, like, the actual idea of Robert being Batman is, like, so perfect.
Especially because he already was a Batman, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Had to. Shut up. So, I love this. Especially, I've seen so many good photos over the past, like, 24 hours showing how he would fit this really well. There's also been a lot of digging up a lot of good memes. And I appreciate it. But I, for one, here's what I really want. In my dream now, I I need our Pats and Ruby Rose to come together. Because
God.
now they're in technically different DC universes, but, like, they're there.
Yeah,
So,
they're...
like, so, like, can we just... And I don't want to just wait for fan videos. Like, I need... I need it to be... Can I have
it's
that
really
buddy
just
cop
going to
movie?
be chaos to the entire bisexual community
And, like,
when that crossover happens.
And, like, we're getting Men in Black this year. Like, you can't do this.
My loins can't handle it.
Like, we've got this and Charlie's Angels and the holiday movie. Like, you can't stop.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But also don't, because I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of, like, super backlash. I've seen more people shitting on the backlash, than actual backlash, which might just be my own circles, but I think that's been, like, a problem with Twitter in general, where it's like, one person says something and then everyone's like, fuck you!
Welcome to Twitter.
Right, welcome to Twitter. But I kind of think the idea of people being upset about it, and, like, fanbros being upset about it, is very funny, because, like, if you look at Robert Pattinson's filmography, especially in Twilight, too, like, he plays broody, like, emo boys. Like,
that's his typecast.
That's his brand. And Batman is the, like, most emo boy that exists. Like, he is just broody and depressed and, like, angry. Like, that's Batman.
I can't believe I'm about to say her name on the podcast, but, like, Batman always reminds me of fucking Bruce Wayne. True also reminds me of that Emma Roberts gif from Scream Queens, where she's in pink shirt or whatever, that coat or whatever, and just, like, screaming and crying. It's just, Bruce Wayne is one of the most dramatic superheroes, and he's broody as fuck, and this is perfect.
Yeah, give me some fucking drama, give me some brood. I'm into it.
I'm so excited. Oh my god. Yeah, so
2021, baby.
Fuck yeah, I'm so ready. The other thing, since I brought up my birthday, we have a couple of May birthdays that we forgot in the space.
Whoops.
Listen, it happens.
Time moves so fast.
So, just a throw one out. Don't throw your coffee out the window.
Throw one out. You know the phrase that everyone says.
Listen, I'm standing by what I said. Don't litter, though. Hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
First of all.
Recycle it, goddammit.
But, yeah, throw one out for our Pats and Jamie Jordan, whose birthdays were earlier this month.
Our two boys.
Our Taurus men, you know?
Yeah. Our strong Taurus men.
Who just love a good brood.
Yeah.
We have a couple of duck-related news pieces. Just, like, really quick. They're just... I
promise you they are relevant.
They are. They're just like, we're going to spitfire them really quick, and then we're going to move on, and we're not going to talk about them anymore.
Yeah, we're just going to forget this ever happened.
Yes. One, last week I went to go see Detective Pikachu. Great.
Uh-huh.
Here's my only thing. I saw the screen credits, and I was like, excuse me, is that Rita Ora's name I see there? And then I was like, what the fuck? So, just, if you ever get a second while you're waiting for public transit to come, just take a quick look at Rita Ora's IMDb page, because it's baffling, is what I'll say.
It's the range, really. She has.
What can't she do, is my question.
It's so beautiful, I think, and poetic.
Yeah.
That she just pops into weird places, and I'm like, all right.
Yes.
Sure.
Speaking about weird and poetic, we need to talk about the C.L. James thing, just, like, really quick.
Yeah.
So, maybe there will come a time where we read the Mister. If you want us to, tell us, apparently.
Like, if you want it.
If you want it, we'll be here.
We're not going to deny you that.
But all of the things that people are pulling out from this makes me not want to ever read it.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's this Jezebel piece that is literally titled E.L. James is the Mr. Fucks a Duck. And I was like, all right.
I'm interested.
All right. This is going to screw with my, web search history, but I'm here. And apparently the protagonist of this uses the phrase fuck a duck.
Like a lot.
Like a lot.
Which, like, this has become kind of her little sign-off, huh? Like, This is a Neil James novel because there's a weird little catchphrase or a weird little phrase that I'll just fucking shove in there to remind you that this is my book. Yeah. 50 Shades, it was 50 Shades of Fucked Up, or 50 Shades whatever, Miss whatever.
And Laters, baby.
And Laters, baby.
Never forget.
No, I'm trying so hard.
Cross-stitch that, please.
No, do not. Do not.
But her writing style is terrifying to me. I don't want to know what happens in her brain.
Oh my god, E.L. James's writing style, or E.L. James maybe even as a person, can be summed up by Welcome to My Twisted Mind.
Okay, I was literally just thinking of the Six Flags theme song, but that works too.
Or the Six Flags theme song.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Where the old man dances by the bus?
Yeah, I'm...
Okay.
Yes, I'm familiar with the Six Flags
shit, I was
commercial.
like, what the fuck?
Dun, 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 dun,
yes, exactly.
Dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun. Yes,
stop.
no, I'm familiar.
They didn't pay us. Bleep their name out.
I was trouble like finding a connection. But I trust you and your judgment.
No, it's a circus up there, you know?
It's just, like, because her career spouted out of fan fiction and, like, all this stuff, like, it feels like that very specific era of Tumblr that was just, like, inside of Tumblr that was, like, welcome to my dark and twisted mind. Like,
I hate that.
There's some things in here that, like, you just won't get, you know? There's just, like, a lot happening in here.
And by
and
not
then you read
get...
it, it's like, it's garbage. It's just bad.
Yeah,
it's
by
bad.
not get, it's because Anastasia likes a whisper of tea. Like, it's not...
You won't understand why I put this in italics, but I'll just put it there anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I get it. You're too heavy-handed, actually. I got
There's
it.
deeper meanings.
Yeah.
Could you give us a little can corner, please?
Ooh, welcome to the film corner, baby.
Because I don't have enough expertise to talk about this.
So can is happening right now. Shout out to my boys out there doing the grind.
Yeah, totally. Same.
Pour one out.
Throwing out.
Throw it out.
Listen.
Throw it away.
This is a straight edge space now. Just throw it out.
Yeah, just get rid of it. But who's going to Cannes is our boy Jackson Rathbone.
Ah, goddamn.
Fucking the greatest boy.
Oh, ketchup man.
Ketchup tattoo man, Jackson Rathbone.
Heinz boy.
If he doesn't get free ketchup for the rest of his life, what was the point of any of this?
The real twist of fate would be if it was like this free subscription box that he gets every week. Or what? Every month? What the fuck? That would be torture.
It's a very aggressive subscription.
But instead of it being like the standard Heinz products, he gets the like ketchup mayo combination or whatever. Something gross as fuck.
Sure.
He's like, sir, I have ketchup tattooed to me. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Man, if I could...
But he's in a horror movie called Do Not Reply.
It looks good.
It looks good. It's like about like virtual reality and like dating and phone apps and like, you know, all that stuff and like in a sort of horror kind of spooky way.
He does a really good serial killer. Like, I remember him on Criminal Minds doing this.
He definitely has it in him to just, like, be a little evil, you know?
Yeah, and
Maybe it's the ketchup tattoo talking, but... Like, that kind... If you got that kind of brain, maybe you can really tap into some dark stuff.
Yeah. Welcome to my twisted mind. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm excited to see this. It looks pretty good, so...
It looks good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, next thing. This is happening not in the U.S., which sucks, but there is a concert tour happening for the Twilight Saga, which if you're like me, don't get your hopes up. Because that sounds like you're gonna get Muse and like fucking Metric and like Panic. God. Like you're gonna get it all.
If like if these bands want to make some serious fucking money,
Oh.
They should just do, like, a Twilight soundtrack, like, tour. Or, like, a one event, like, one night only, whatever, extravaganza.
I would fucking collapse. Like, can you imagine the money that they would make from that? Oh my god.
It would be unreal. And, like, so many people would go to that.
Oh yeah, they would.
It's, like, that seems... like such like a money maker. Take this idea from me. I will go. Like just
I will
make it happen.
You can take this idea so long as we both get backstage passes because
right.
I mean,
like
love those movies and their songs.
There. Yeah.
So this
I fucking love those movies and their songs.
What? Listen, that's how I feel. Their soundtracks are bops.
No, I know.
I just love the movies and their songs.
I just like we've been like talking about those two things specifically for almost 3 years
I know.
now. And the fact that you just said it in such a very like basic introductory way. It's like, hey, these movies and these songs, I'm into it. I think I can get down to this.
Oh my god. This is how I feel. Okay,
yeah.
Lionsgate. They announced a live-to-film event that's happening where they play the movie and then there's like a live orchestral set that plays along with the film, which sounds great. I've been to like Star Wars ones before, and I know they have like Harry Potter ones and whatever.
Yeah.
Right now they just have it in Brazil, Australia, and Britain, and that's it. But hopefully it expands, because that would be a really easy moneymaker.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. I think that was a lot of news.
Yeah.
But I think we got through all of it there.
I'm proud of us.
Me too. We have a listener email this week.
Hell
and
yeah.
It's so important to me. Could you do me the honor of reading this email?
Of course.
Thank you.
This is from our brave intern, Taylor Brown Townlautner.
I'm so ready. Y'all fucking buckle in. This is so important to me.
Listen, here we go. Hey y'all, I can't believe I never sent this in. But basically, when I first started dating my partner, I had to disclose why I was reading Twilight fanfiction more often than is typically normal for a 25-year-old person. And I explained that I'm the unofficial intern of a podcast that talks about Twilight. That's when he dropped huge news that he apparently met Taylor Lautner when they were both like 13, 14 years old. And there are so many exclamation points after this.
Me.
Of course I told him that I need to know everything. So my partner, as well as Taylor Lautner, as she refers to him as TL, which is fucking great.
You ever so casual?
Yeah, we're on like an initial basis. We're pretty tight, TL and I. Anyway, did fighting competitions.
What the fuck?
Which is to this day I don't even fully understand. But he sent me a video of TL performing, and it's basically a lot of kicking and brooding stares.
Me?
Sometimes weapons are involved.
This is just like, what the fuck is up, Kyle?
There's so much happening. It looks like what I imagine his audition tape was for Shark Boy and Lava Girl, or even Twilight. And apparently they would just say hi and talk about the competition going on. However, he never personally fought TL because they were in separate divisions. Slightly disappointing if you ask me.
Come on! This is like edging.
After hearing all this, I keep asking my partner what it feels like to know he could have been Shark Boy, even though he's never once expressed any interest in an acting career. I just think that if he had similar skill sets to TL, then he would be in a shoo-in for the role.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. That's
so, there's so many things here.
beautiful.
One,
there's so much to unpack.
Taylor, are you my mom?
Yeah.
I didn't know that you were older than us, which is fine, but what the fuck?
Literally, I glanced over this email and I was like, 25. Whoa. Wait a minute. I guess I really have no conceptualization of, like, the people who listen to us and, like, all that sort of stuff. Like, we have all that data, but we don't really, like, check it super often because that feels a little creepy.
No, we just sell it.
To be honest. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in this economy,
I need to get a ketchup tattoo, so.
Yeah. But, oh my gosh. I, like, basically assume that everyone who listens to this podcast is 19.
Same. Cody saw that age and legitimately approached it like a 10-year-old and was like, oh my god. They're like old. What?
I have to. Hey, no, you're not old. I just older than I anticipated.
Well, I'm like a couple days from turning 25.
Right. You haggard old woman.
My uterus is disappearing right now. It's being snapped for so many reasons.
It's a ghost. It's just sand.
Here's my favorite thing about Taylor and her partner here is that I'm just imagining this like figurative argument that the two of them are in, where Taylor's partner did something wrong, and Taylor, not yelling, but just in a very disappointed voice, was like, "You could have been Shark Boy." That's so important to me. Of like, you didn't take out the trash, and that's why you're not Shark Boy.
It's like, listen, I don't love you any less because you weren't Shark Boy, but I would love you more if you were
I would love you more. Oh, yep, that's exactly. I would love you more.
I would just love you more if you were Shark Boy. Man, I mean, he could have really gone. What if he was in Twilight? What if he was so good at his fighting?
I would die legitimately with the amount of shit that I've said on here. Just a group text away.
Yeah,
nope.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you so much for sending that in, Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you for your work.
Our boss and also our intern.
Also our mom. Who knew you were running the show the whole time?
Just little puppet strings, just from the great beyond.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. So we've got 2 horrible chapters to talk about.
Boy, do we.
So if you all forgot, because sometimes I do, we're reading You, the novel. We're on chapters 5 and 6.
Begrudgingly.
Unfortunately. Where we left off last time, there was a lot of talk about pickle shots and Dragon
the Wild West.
Yes, that too. And so basically what you get here in chapters 5 and 6 is like one episode.
Yeah.
I think. And so it was wild. I guess I just didn't really notice or think about that the adaptation was so accurate to the book.
Right, yeah.
Until I read this and I was like, oh, okay, it's
just shot by shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does feel like, I mean, I guess there is a lot more to go, but it feels like it's going so quickly.
It does.
And there's like so much left and it's very dense so far, and I'm interested to see like if it, it's basically kind of the same timeline, just maybe a little bit more information, or if there's like a lot more to go off of here, because like we're speeding through this pretty fast, and like the chapters are quite short comparatively.
They are short, and this book is like 400 pages.
Yeah.
And so I'm very curious where this goes.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But where this chapter 5 starts anyways is with Beck leaving the club, Benji not showing up, and so she's wasted and trying to text him while waiting for a train.
Yeah.
And so if you've seen this episode, it's chaotic and creepy.
Yes.
And I definitely felt that while reading this.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost felt like, I don't know, there was something about the cadence in this chapter in particular that it definitely feels like it's all one run-on sentence.
Yes.
And it's done purposefully for that reason of, like, trying to show Joe's anxiety and, like, how much he is feeling stressed. But it also made me stressed, and I was like, stop. Like,
right, like, God, dude.
I know what happened.
Yeah. Chill out.
Yes. It's supposed to be, like, I think it's, like, 2:30, almost 3 in the morning when this happens.
Yeah.
And it's basically just him watching her get closer and closer to falling off into the train tracks while there is a homeless person singing a song.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yes.
And what I hated the most about, and there's so much, but what I hated the most about this is how much Joe is like, well, you don't have to worry, Beck, because you've got me to protect you. And I can't believe that your shoelaces aren't tied. And it's like,
you dangerous woman.
I know.
You really want this to happen to you. Like, you're just begging for danger. It's like, fuck you.
It was so blamey. And there was definitely like a couple of paragraphs specifically where he was like, "You're lucky I'm here because if you fell or if some sicko followed you down, some derelict rapist, you wouldn't be able to do anything." And it's like, you're literally
Yeah.
Which makes me, it just more and more underscores that, like, and maybe the book will get into this more about, like, it has the sociopathic tendencies here.
Sure, yeah.
Other than just, like, being a complete narcissist.
Yeah. There's this part where he's kind of, like, psychoanalyzing her relationship to her phone, which I think is interesting and bad. Because, I mean, he's, like, done some of that earlier on, being like, "Oh, your yellow phone case, whoa," like, weird stuff. And
you
he's
want
like,
attention.
Right, and he's being like, "Oh, well, of course there's a crack in your phone because, like, really you just don't want to take care of it and you don't actually like it. It's just, like, poisoning you and it's awful. I just wish I could throw it down the tracks and you'd be done with it because it's ruining your life and you wouldn't have to talk to Benji anymore and, like, you wouldn't, like, none of this would be happening and whatever."
I find
it's just so weird.
It is. And I find it ironic that he has these he's romanticizing old-fashioned interactions with people.
Yes, yeah, right.
And yet, he does not have the social skills to be able to carry on the interactions that he wants.
Yes.
And so, because obviously he's just staring at someone that he's barely met once.
Right.
And it's terrifying.
That's actually a really interesting point, too, because, like, Joe is the kind of guy that would be very good at communicating with people on the internet.
He would be.
Like, he's very, like, socially anxious, and he has a lot of these tendencies that, like, would be better if he gave himself time to think and, like, communicate through more, like, digital means rather than face-to-face, right?
He would give off a great impression on Tinder.
Right, well, yeah, right, exactly. And he gets to, like, control everything the way he wants to and, like, be able to manage things and, like, think through his thoughts and whatever. And also we see that, too, with, like, he actively uses the internet all the time. Like, he stalks Beck and everyone on Facebook, and he, like, knows how to use these tools, and he's very intuitive with it. Mm-hmm. But he also, at the same time, is, like, totally disregarding the uses of those things for good, right? He's just like, "Oh, there's no good that could come out of this, whatever, like, it sucks, I wish I could just talk to people, and, like, why don't people have conversations anymore?" But, like, he's fundamentally unable to have those conversations.
Yes.
Because he's, like, so in tune to this other, like, side that he's critiquing, which is very interesting.
And I think that, to me, it feels very much of, like, he's using them like you would library tools and not...
Sure, right,
and it feels very much of, like, an old-fashioned way of, like, you can't have friends online. You can't create relationships online.
Yeah.
But if he actually gave himself that time, I feel like we would have a completely different story here.
Right, for sure.
Or maybe the same ending, but different middle parts, probably.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that Beck's response to kind of falling into the tracks and then having Joe help her was relatable. Like, she kept saying, "Oh my god, I could have died," over and over again. I was like, that's appropriate, actually.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say. I think this is the first author that we've read that has used italics in an effective way.
Yeah, for sure.
Who actually understands the purpose of them.
Yeah.
Because of the fact
it's refreshing.
It is. Because of the fact that this whole chapter is about this song that is being sung. And especially when you watch it in the TV show, it is very overstimulating, which is the point. And I think the way that it's used in this chapter gets that across. Whereas I feel like, I'm just trying to imagine if Stephanie Meyer or E.L. James wrote this chapter, it'd be a hot mess.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand narrative techniques at all. One of the things that I found interesting, and I think this kind of underscores what we've been saying so much about Joe, is that when they sit down after getting off of the train tracks and all of that drama, and the train comes by, obviously they don't get on it, he still feels this need to tie her shoelaces. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I feel like this is where the author's like, do you get, like, what I'm trying to say here? That, like, there's something that is not neurotypical here. My issue is that it doesn't feel it still feels like it's excusing behavior.
Yeah. And he also uses it a way to be like, oh, like, you're not easily rescued, but I'll play the long game, and I'll let you come to that conclusion yourself that I'm the right person or whatever, and this is it. And it's just, like, again, like, normalizing this kind of, like, chase thing, or, like, a prize situation that you just have to wait and be persistent, and then you'll get what you want, because people are things you just win.
Yep, that's how people do.
Yeah, you know how people do.
They're just objects after all, you know?
Am I right, ladies?
Yep, am I right? God damn it. Hey, folks, just so you know, I'm just staring into the camera right now. The past couple weeks.
This is The Office.
The past couple years, just been staring into that camera.
Yep.
Chapter 6. I think we get a little bit more in the cab scene than we did in the TV show, which was nice.
Yeah.
What I found the most interesting, and it's a shame that this person doesn't talk. I want to know more about this cab driver.
True.
This cab driver sees Beck, who is a disheveled mess.
Yeah.
And Joe, who's incredibly clean, and is like, you know what? It's 3:00 in the morning. What the fuck ever.
He describes it as he's so clean that it's almost disturbing.
Yeah.
And I hate, like, I'm just imagining Mr. Clean, which is
I
a very,
was literally too.
Like, it's a terrifying amount of clean.
I can never forget that haunted video of him just, like, shaking his butt around that house.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's haunted.
And he compares it to, like, being a pimp and a sex worker, and I'm like, come on.
Cool.
Great. I love that this is happening. Like,
they're just objects, right?
Right. It's just, it's like a quirky thing that we look like. It's like not,
The one thing that I do think is worth pointing out is that in the TV show, Beck pukes on Joe.
Yes.
Once she is saved, which I was hoping happened.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
And it didn't, which was a little bit of a bummer and would have explained her being a little bit more of a mess, but that's fine. In this cab experience, there's a lot of Joe adding to this conversation where there is not things there of, like, him saying, you sigh, and I love you for trying to spin this into some sort of strike against complacency, and what fun it is to play with you. And it's like, she's drunk.
Yeah. Like, that's... There's nothing happening here.
She sighed because it's been a long day.
She's drunk, almost died, and you offered to take her home.
Yeah, I would sigh
That's
too.
what's happening. And you're having a pretty boring conversation.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things you should pick up at some point, Joe, is you're boring. But that's okay.
You're boring. It's so, like, he says he's a bartender.
Oh, yeah.
At the Green Point, which I don't think happens in the show.
No.
Maybe it does. I don't think so.
No, he's just a liar.
Yeah, listen, if there's one thing we know about Joe Goldberg, fucking liar.
Yeah.
But, so Beck goes, oh, that must be really fun. You get to hear people's stories. And then he's like, yeah, it is. Careful not to reveal that I know you write stories. It's like,
Ew.
Where's that? Why would you bring that up in a normal conversation?
Gross.
Like, oh, it is. I bet you have some interesting stories about the Wild West.
I also love that Beck is starting to pick up on, now that she's actually able to, like, look at Joe, she's able to pick up that she recognizes him, but she doesn't know from where. And so the first question that she asks out loud is, hey, you ever spent a summer working on a ferry? It's like, what the fuck, Beck?
Oh, I know where you're from. How I recognize you.
I've got your fucking number, Joe.
I recognize that face anywhere. You ever been to Nantucket?
God, I hope that comes back and that explains why they fuck on a ferry later.
Oh, God. I
just
can't
got a
wait to
thing.
see how that scene plays out.
She's just
Like,
got
this
a
has been
real
my
thing.
fantasy. I just want to fuck the ferry driver.
Oh my god!
It's been an elaborate ruse this whole time.
That's what she just thinks about while she eats her lean cuisines. Just like one day.
So they're having this boring conversation. It's like 2 sentences long. There's nothing happening.
Can we talk about the middle school part, though?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it.
This haunted me. So, again, the worst conversation. However, Joe keeps trying to make extended eye contact with Beck, who is drunk and tired and overstimulated.
And just can't do it.
So, Joe says in his head, my middle school health teacher told us that you can hold eye contact for 10 seconds before scaring or seducing someone. I'm counting, and I think you can tell. Would you like to know how many people have highlighted that excerpt on Kindle?
No.
It would be a good 415 people.
That sure is too many.
That's especially for one of the wackiest things that we have read so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. Jesus.
It's awful. We do get
So
to
they're
finally
like-
see Benji, though.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
is interesting.
Yeah.
God damn it. I hate him. I don't I really, like, Joe's worse, obviously, but
Yeah. But Benji
Benji's
is
bad.
bad. Benji's bad. He's a bad boy.
The other thing that I never expected to read with my own 2 eyes at this point is, when the taxi stops and Beck gets out, Benji's there, which happens in the TV show as well. But Joe says, you reach across me and roll down the window. I smell you. Pickles and Tits.
Ugh.
Listen, I've never felt so called out in my whole life.
There's 2 things you need to know about me. Pickles and tits.
Listen, I
That's
do
who I
love
am.
a good pickle, and I do have really big boobs, but, like, I never expected to read that and feel so, I was like, ew, and then I was like, wait a second, hold on.
It's so just, like, succinct and really just gets it. You know?
It really gives a very visceral experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, yep.
We do need to talk about the phone situation, because this happens in the TV show, too.
Yes, please.
The fucking phone. So Beck's like, Benji, you will not believe the night I've had. While Benji is, like, looking at his phone, he has, like, 16 missed calls from Beck. Like, there's... I don't know why he decided to show up now at 3 o'clock in the morning, but whatever.
He wants to fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly why, honestly.
He ran out of his bubbly water. He's
Honestly.
like, I have nothing else to live for. Let's go get some fucking pussy.
This is a real Noah Logan move, if I'm being honest.
Listen.
Just ignoring your girl all night, and then at 3 a.m. being like, hey, you up? I have never responded to any of those in my day. Nope. At the end of this, Joe's like, well, Beck, I mean, how am I going to get in contact with you if I find your phone? And so she's like, well, carrier pigeon, obviously. But if
Duh.
you can't do that, my email address is a good place to start.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I found buck wild about this is when Joe pulls out his phone so that he can, like, type in her email address, he's like, thank God when I pull a phone out of my pocket, it's mine and not yours. It's like, shut up. We got it.
Did you know I have Beck's phone?
Do you know I know how to do sleight hand magic?
Yeah, I'm a magician.
The only thing worse in this taxi ride is if he would have been doing magic. Oh my god.
Yeah. I think I'm really upset there isn't, like, a witty line in his head that's like, oh, I can tell which phone is mine because, like, I felt the cracks on yours and I picked up the right one.
Gross.
Yeah, it would have been disgusting.
The end of this chapter is also really gross too, with him being like, our first date ends and you're going upstairs and fucking the shit out of Benji, but it doesn't matter, Beck. It's like, what the fuck? What? What do you mean?
He thinks he's such, like, a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
He's
that's for sure.
the TM nice guy.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, I'll let you fuck people that are bad for you and that you don't really like because I'll just be here. I'll be waiting, you know?
I'll always be here.
But there's, like, another layer because he's, like, has her phone and knows everything about her, and she doesn't know him at all.
God damn it, Joe.
God damn it, Joe.
Next week, we have chapters 7 and 8, and honestly, I don't remember what happened after this point, other than him, like, snooping through her phone. So,
yeah.
We'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah.
We have so many patrons to thank.
Patron. Patron saints of this podcast.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up Reductress today.
Cool, I already have it open.
Great, go ahead and get us started then.
Oh shit, I haven't liked anything yet. Okay. Shout out to Sophia Salinger. Who's gonna be... Aw, these 3 generations of women have all been to the same fucking protest.
Yeah, that's fair. Shout out to Erin Salinger, who is...
Ow.
Sure, I'll put my baby up for adoption as soon as I'm out of the foster system.
Shout out to Alex Blythe. Who's gonna be... Dear Disney, why is there no Property Brothers ride?
Honestly? That's a great question. Shout out to Marie Mooney.
Ow.
Who is 4 calming yoga poses that'll get you just a little horny.
Shout out to Taylor Brown Town Lautner.
Braver
Than the Marines. Who's gonna be breaking. Mom is gonna do a big shop.
I was just looking at that one. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Shout out to Katie Weber.
Ow.
Who is, I love having tattoos, but I wish more men would stop me and talk to me about them. Oh, fuck.
Yes, please.
Please do.
Shout out to Simon Steele.
Fucking yoked.
Stop objectifying our patrons.
No. Okay, fine.
Who's gonna be, try not to cry, this deployed soldier surprises girlfriend by getting bangs.
Can you tag yourself on one of these, please?
Oh god, there's so much happening here.
Mine is cat remains on bed for all of sex.
That's great.
Yeah.
Mine is, if life begins at conception, maybe we should just cut off all the dicks now.
Ooh, the photo on that one is very important to me.
It's pretty good, yeah.
All right. I have a fanfiction this week.
Ooh.
That was sent in by our mom.
Mom.
Our veteran mom. And it is a fanfiction.net piece that is
not Hugo nominated.
It's not Hugo nominated, but goddamn should it be. It is tagged, and not the only one on here, but it is tagged in the Bible and Twilight crossover section.
Oh, boy.
This is titled Pancakes of True Love. The author is Ethical is Bay. I don't know that I said that right. And was published in June 15th of 2017. The summary is, Edward was happy the way he was, living alone in peace. At least he thinks he is. But then he gets a new roommate and everything changes. I've been recommended to start at a certain place here.
Cool.
All right. I can't wait to get to know you. Then with one bright, bursting, bubbly blue eye, he winked and pranced to his bed. Edward flinched. What the hell was that? Also, his face suddenly turned a bright tomato, ruby, fire truck, strawberry, cherry, chili pepper red. He didn't know why, and it made him angry and confused and a little sexually frustrated. Without a second thought, Edward walked over to Jesus, and for a second, the idea of kissing him crossed his mind. Instead, being the dick he is, he looked Jesus in his bursting, bright, bubbly eyes and said, "My bed, my rules." To which Jesus replied, "All right, tiger," and winked seductively. Edward blushed again. What's wrong with him? End scene.
I think I've gone to heaven. I think that fanfiction sent me to heaven.
I think Jackson Rathmore needs to change his tattoo to just say instead, bright tomato, ruby fire truck, strawberry, cherry, chili, pepper, red.
That's me trying to hit my word count.
Honestly? Yeah,
Yeah.
me in high school trying to hit that, like, 500 word count. Jesus Christ. Well, thank you for that gift.
Thank you so much.
And as we say here in Seattle,
Get bit.
and get whipped.
Ow!
This is an Earbud Media production. You can find us on Twitter at Earbud Media and listen to the rest of our shows. You can find this show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, as well as intothetwilight.show. You can send us an email at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can also become a sponsor of the show or buy some merch at intothetwilight.bigcartel.com. Our art is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and our music is done by Eli Krause, you can find at Eli Sauerkraus and KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro is by KB Smith, who you can find at KB__Smith on Twitter. You can find Allie on Twitter at Into Wild Places, and you can find me at Dyke Discourse. You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.